Stop submitting CVs, guys. Submit a resume. Okay, like you're going off key. They are not your family members. Are you actually qualified to do well? Like, will you do well in that job? Do you ever wonder why, after you applied for that job, you didn't hear back? And you kept wondering, but why didn't they say anything? Why didn't they select me? I thought I did, I thought I submitted a good application. Okay, actually, there might be things that you're doing wrong, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 common mistakes that applicants make when they're hunting for a job. So whether you're looking for a paid position, in volunteer position, or it's a research position, or maybe it's even an application to schools abroad, here are some things that you need to be careful of in order to get that job. So here, basically, I'm going to focus on people who are looking to get a job. So I won't really focus on people looking to get funding, but really let's focus on people looking to get a job. So if you're a survivor, you're looking to get a job in the domestic violence space, or you're looking to get a job in a non-profit or a space where you can work with vulnerable people, or you're just looking to get a job, there are mistakes that you guys make. I used to make those mistakes, and I'm gonna help you understand why you should, what is going wrong, or why exactly things are not working in your favor. Now let's start with mistake number 1. Guys, let's stop doing this. Why will you submit a CV when they say submit resume? Or is it that we don't know the difference between CV and resume? Think about it. There's a difference between a CV and a resume. The CV is your entire journey, like your entire professional journey. But the resume is the journey that pertains to that job or that thing you're applying for. So let me put it this way. The CV kind of describes everything you've done in your life, from your school, the jobs, the volunteer positions, everything put together. But the resume actually is targeted at, it's focused on that job you're applying for. Let's say you're trying to apply for a communication specialist position with a non-profit or a DV agency or some other kind of organization. The thing is, you're not expected to submit your CV. You're expected to submit your resume. The resume should then focus on the skills that you have that aligns with that job that you're applying for. Hello? The skills that you have that aligns with the job that you're applying for. Let's think about another scenario. So you're a virtual assistant, right? And you want to apply for a virtual assistant position. Why will you go and bring a resume that does not align with that job, or a CV that does not even, correlate? So the position is virtual assistant. Now think about the virtual assistant positions you've held before, or any kind of role where you've played that role of a virtual assistant. Now put those information in a resume, put together a resume that aligns with that application. When you do that, it better positions you as someone who knows what he or she or they are doing. But if you're not clear about these little details, the question becomes, are you actually qualified to do well? Will you do well in that job? They start thinking. So the the recruiters or the HR of organizations usually don't have time. So they're looking for things to help them, just get people off the list so that they can cut down the number of applications they need to review. So you need to position yourself, strategically, so that you do not end up shooting yourself in the leg. Okay, so stop submitting CVs, guys. Submit a resume. Okay, the resume is different from a CV. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do I put my own resume together? What does a resume look like? So if you join the Clarity of Vision webinar, this is like a monthly webinar with me where first you learn to set the goal for the month. If it is the job goal, you get the clarity on how to do that. Also, you get free access into our coaching community. Now, in each coaching community, such as the coaching community for those looking to get, for those seeking personal development opportunities, there are a number of resources that I have prepared and made available to the coaches in that community. So what I'm saying in essence is, if you join the coaching community, as a result of your registration for the Clarity of Vision webinar, you get access to different CVs and resume templates. I mean, you get to see what they look like and use my styles to prepare your own. And all of those documents or resources are only available to those who are in our coaching community. Also, if you're looking to buy my book, it's titled Fully Funded. So this book, Fully Funded, shares with you strategies first for getting international opportunities, moving abroad, settling abroad, and gaining your permanent residence abroad. So this book is very detailed and it is titled Fully Funded. So if you're looking to get that book, of course, follow the details in this video to learn more. So let's move on. The second thing you want to do is, now, many people submit resumes, they don't submit cover letters. So a cover letter, in a way, kind of sets you apart from other applicants. While many organizations may not require that you submit a cover letter is like a game changer, in my opinion. It helps you capture in a very succinct or in a very captivating manner what exactly you're looking to bring on board to that, like what are you looking to offer that organization. So it's like a quick one-page summary of the unique skills, unique talent and abilities that you're going to be offering that organization, right? In other words, the cover letter is like, the icing on the cake to your resume. It's also, like, it's the first thing that they should read that will get them interested in reviewing your resume. The cover letter is like that 1 minute pitch that you're making and letting them know why you should, be considered for that position. Okay, so make sure that you're not just submitting a resume, of course, not CV, we say resume here. Also add this icing on the cake, which is the cover letter. Again, if you join the Clarity of Vision webinar, by that webinar, you get access into our coaching community for free for a month. And all of those resources are made available to members of that community. Everything is in that community, but of course you have to go through the Clarity of Vision webinar and get into our coaching community so that we can support you for free for 1 month, and afterwards you can decide to re-enroll on a monthly basis. So let's move on. We've already talked about submitting resume, adding the valuable cover letter. Now the third thing you want to do, one thing that a lot of people, now this is really applicable to the interview stage. So the interview stage is where they have gotten your application, they have reviewed it, and then they then say, okay, let's interview you. Okay, now during this interview, a lot of things happen and people end up shooting themselves in the leg. So you want to make sure that when you're going for that job interview, you prepare and you do not overshare. So the third thing you have to learn to do so that you do not make, the one mistake you need to avoid is avoid oversharing. Stop sharing too much information. They don't want to hear so much. Just simply focus on what is important. What do they need to hear? So when they ask you a question, be as brief as possible. Do not answer questions they do not ask you. Do not share information that they did not ask you to share. So be as careful as, detailed, but as, succinct as possible. Don't share too much, don't undershare, and don't overshare. But be as, specific as possible. Also, now you need to focus on the important things when you're sharing. So you're sharing during this job interview. Now you've told them about your, your background. So let's talk about someone who is applying to a DV agency. Imagine you're a survivor of domestic violence and you want to apply to a job in a domestic violence agency, whether it's a paid job, part-time, pay per day, or a volunteer position, whether it's full-time, whatever the kind of job it is. Now you get to it's a virtual interview, and then you're talking to this, admission, this selection hiring committee, or maybe it's even an admission, and then you're talking to this potential supervisor. Now, when you're having this conversation, there's this tendency to want to trauma dump. So what I mean by trauma dump is sharing your entire life in a meeting. You don't want to do that. Don't go and be sharing your entire world because they don't care. The thing is, I want you to know that when people are hiring you, they don't care really about you. They really are after the skills that you have to offer. I mean, like, don't go to the interview and start sharing information that are not necessary. So let's do like a quick, mock presentation. So I'm gonna role play as the interviewer and the interviewee. Hi, BM. Thank you for coming. We really thank you for coming for this interview. Now tell us about yourself. So the wrong way to respond is, thank you for having me. My name is Bisola Miriam. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I was in a very traumatic relationship. This really broke my heart. This person wanted to, kill me. This person was making my life a living hell. It was so painful. It was so painful. And I really hated it. And I wish that this didn't happen. I sometimes wish that my life was okay. Like, you're going off key. They are not your family members. They just want you to focus on what matters. Now, this is the right way to respond to that kind of question. Tell us about you. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Bisola Miriam, and I took interest in the position communication specialist, considering my background in communication and advocacy. Specifically, I recently graduated with a degree in communication studies from the University of Alabama, and my research kind of centers on the ways in which communication tools can be used to engender advocacy, can be used to promote advocacy and minimize domestic violence and abuse. Now, as a survivor myself, I see how important. I constantly am looking for roles where I can I can put my passion into it, considering my lived experience, and more importantly, where I can deploy the skills that I've developed over the years. If there is any other information that you'd like for me to share, please let me know and I can share more. So you see, in this very, right way, I kind of made it a little more like I answered the question without sharing so much, but by also mentioning my lived experience. I didn't go there to be trauma dumping and telling them, all the bad things that happened in my life. They don't care. Like, you really need to be very pragmatic when you are in this interview. Like, you gotta be strategic, guys. So please don't go and overshare or undershare and shoot yourself in the leg. So I hope that you have learned one thing or the other. If this has really been useful, and if you know you are guilty, please leave a comment. Let's even know ourselves. So I've been talking to you today about the common mistakes that applicants make when they're looking to get a job. And so the first mistake is submitting CVs for resume. Please don't do it again. In this year, don't do it again. Two, submitting only resume and not adding the icing on the cake, which is the cover letter. Thirdly, going to these interviews and oversharing. So please don't overshare. And when you share, only share what is relevant and only share data. Like, how many records, how many things did you achieve? How many, achievements, what did you do that aligns with that position that you're applying for? When you focus on data, if for instance you were in a position where you worked with domestic violence survivors or you volunteered to carry out advocacy campaign, just make sure that whatever data you're sharing kind of correlates with what they're looking to hear more about. Okay, don't go there and share information that does not even align with the job or the application that you saw. It just has to align, guys. Let's think about it that way. Also, if you haven't gotten my book fully funded, The Secret to Studying Abroad, Living Abroad, and Settling Abroad for free, that book is gonna change your life. If you have not pre-ordered, I'm here wondering, what are you waiting for? So guys, go ahead and pre-order that book right now. If you go to the website, you can join the wait list, and when the book is out, you're going to be the first to know. So guys, go and pre-order right now. Just follow the link in the description of the video and the comments. Now, in addition to getting the book, I encourage you to get the Clarity of Vision webinar. A lot of us do not even know how to set our goals properly, or we know how to set goals, or we know we have a goal, but somehow we get kind of confused, distracted, we're not in the right community, and then things happen, we don't know what we're doing. So in the Clarity of Vision webinar, one thing you're going to take away is you are going to learn to set the goals that matter. Even more, you're going to be getting access to my coaching community. On top of that, you're going to be working with the best coaches from across the world who are going to be using the resources that I have prepared to walk you through your goal. So this is one, community that you want to be a part of. You don't want to miss it. You want to make sure that you get onboarded so you can get all the value that you deserve. I really want to work with you. I really want to support you. But the first step is to get the Clarity of Vision webinar. And from that webinar, you get into a coaching community, and boom, welcome to the world of abundance. Thank you for watching this video. I am your friend, Bisola Miriam, a survivor working passionately to empower survivors, helping them heal and advocate for themselves. And of course, you can learn more about what we do at idayforyou.com. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care and make sure you subscribe and share this video. Bye.